hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video we're going to have a look at the current state of the market, what has happened in the last 6 months during my absence, and what the outlook is for the fourth quarter. I mean, things are looking interesting, I would say. Of course, that's one of the reasons I'm back with the videos. I have some time, and this time I will bring some consistency. So definitely do look forward over the next couple of weeks, consistent content, at least on a weekly basis. Now, what I want to do in this video is have a proper look at how things are developing. Of course, everybody has turned rather bullish, October, the fourth quarter is finally here. But let's look at some data metrics to basically identify, how we do it. We follow the data to see where we're basically at and hopefully what we can expect. Right, so the overall market cap is basically a good indicator. This was that initial growth spurt end 2023, basically all the way into February to April. And when we look at, let's say, the last month or so, we can see that the market has stayed relatively the same. We're still talking around, $200 billion difference. But we don't see any drastic spikes, which we did see obviously earlier this year, right? That complete climb for about a 4-month period where, of course, there was a lot more excitement than there is currently in the market. Now, there are some indicators I would definitely recommend you look at compared to, obviously, the overall fear and greed index is a very good day-to-day indicator. Other than that, I like to look at basically the inflow of volumes, which is a very good indicator to see when things are happening. There were basically two big moments this year, which was obviously the Bitcoin halving, which everybody had major expectations on what would happen, what should happen, and obviously what didn't happen. And at the same time, the ETFs were a big thing. We had major developments in tech, the BRC20, the Optimism Superchains, Arbitrum, basically SUI, exploring new narratives. Now, obviously, entering the fourth quarter, all eyes are on the US elections, right? So I believe it's November 5th that is taking place, and a lot of projects are waiting to go to market. Obviously, my advisory group that I'm involved in, which is over, I think we have about 120 employees. Not all of them do advisory, of course, but we're waiting to take over a double dozen projects to market, right? A lot of these projects have been waiting, sitting, looking at the right market conditions, and I will show you a couple of launches that happened this year as well in this video, and basically what that comes down to. So here we have a very good historic pattern on the fear and greed index. Now, of course, if you map the fear and greed index according to volume and basically volatility in the market cap of the entire market, you will see a pattern there, right? Derivatives quite easy, more complex, is I would say less easy, more complex to look at. So if we go to, I think I only made one video this year for people that have been waiting, because it was I recorded that in March this year, and at that point it had been a year since I did a video, right? Doesn't mean I've been sitting still, right? My thesis still stayed the same. So I will pull up some tokens for you that are some of the biggest bags in my portfolio. So since then, actually, I've changed a little bit. Let me address that first. So I do have a couple of Bitcoin now. I never really made that move, but when Bitcoin wasn't really a good move, because I bought that in April around 62K, I think. So it's kind of the same as it is now, a little bit less. Of course, my Ethereum bag didn't change. This is the biggest portion of my portfolio in Ethereum. However, as of talking to people, getting connected to more individuals in circles, I've actually obtained quite a big sum of Solana as well, and that has performed really well. So that has been very much up, which I'm very happy about. I mean, it's not as significant as the Bitcoin or Ethereum holdings, but it's definitely more than a six-figure position. So that's good. I'm very happy with my SUI entry on $1, right? But this has only been as of late that SUI has been performing. I can open SUI for you guys. Also, I want to have a look at IMX, Super, right? This has just been as of late. Like this token hasn't done really anything ever, right? Like this was the depths of the bear market, and this was that upward rally, right? I got back in SUI already at a dollar, so about here. I took a previous position at a dollar, like 98 cents, something like that. So I didn't sell when it even went here to $2. I still have the exact same amount. It's not that significant. Couple 10,000, I think, maybe 25k, something like that, relative to my other holdings. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money. I'm not here to brag, but relative to the other positions. And I mean, it's stable. I've been working, or at least getting to know SUI more through a big Web2 project that I'm working on. Yeah, interesting development, just very slow, not really a strong community in the Web3 space as of yet. Immutable, also that position was taken earlier this year at about a dollar. Did quite well, almost 180 earlier, 157. Now my ideas with these chains, they're pretty simple. Whether they're blockchains, tech infrastructure protocols, that's the majority, like 90% of what I'm involved in when it comes to basically buying tokens. It's for the longer term play. So whether these tokens go to $2, I will not sell them. I'm really waiting for like a $3, $4, like previous bull run numbers to exit. And I'm patient. I have been patient. Obviously, we've been waiting such a long time. You can imagine from the amount of videos that I haven't made during such a long period. Yeah, we are extremely patient, right? So if you look at Super, right, Super was also stagnant, and then basically here it started to move again a little bit. More developments. It's definitely one of my least favorite projects. Very boring, no updates. I don't really know what they're doing. At times there are some hype announcements, but substance-wise, it's definitely lacking. One of my favorite projects is definitely Echelon Prime, right? The amount of developments going on, games, really turning it into an ecosystem. The chart kind of speaks for itself. Obviously, I should have exited early this year. I didn't because I'm too much of a fanboy. I tell everybody not to get emotional, and what happened is I got emotional. So you can see it definitely happens on every single level of investor, I would say, but I'm very happy with the progression. Obviously, it's stagnated here between like $5, $6, and then early this week, I think it hit $12. Now it's sitting about $10. I'm very happy. I mean, above a 1 billion FTV. This project definitely deserves it. Not even on Binance yet, so it has Coinbase. I don't think there's an OKX either. So there's definitely room for growth, but significantly impressed. I would put this on my number one. Very big bag of this as well, so I don't want to pump my own bags, but yeah, I have that bag for a specific reason. Truly believe this can pull some nice numbers. Looking at, let's say, relatively smaller projects that have performed quite well lately, and this is a good example because of the vesting, right? So basically the vesting for this project, I believe, has ended. This was an opportunity I brought to the community as well. Currently sitting at 181 mil FTV. You could see from TGE a little bit of a dip, but then very strong upward linear growth over months, right? So this was basically where we're looking. This is December, and the launch was March, right? 9 months of basically linear growth, and then the vesting basically hurt the project, of course, which makes sense. Very much so that it basically was almost brought back like 20% above listing price, which, I didn't panic about, but I was definitely, I've been less involved with this project for the last, I want to say, almost year, really. I get updates, but that's about it. And then, obviously, recently it just pumped basically, what was this, almost 100%, 120%. In just a matter of a couple of days. Now is a little bit of a pullback, but yeah, really tremendous results with no significant exchanges either. So definitely one of the best picks, and that seed round on this project has definitely paid off tremendously. You can see the community sentiment is kind of always bullish on this project, but yeah, really nice. Let me just scroll through the market cap to look for other positions, because top of my head, like Caspa, I never really participated in, but has been doing obviously incredible. Arbitrum, right? Well, that's definitely not one of my favorites. I think I got that also at $1, so that's like 50% down. Unfortunate. Phantom, I got that at $1. That's still down. Let's see what else we have in this list. Probably we got to go to the second tab because there's a lot of like new meme coins. Flow, right? I don't know where we got that in, but got some there as well. Beam. So Beam is basically on the, apart from Echelon, like obviously it's a chain, but it's like obviously the evolution of Merit Circle. So I do see some more potential here. Very stable, relatively, right? Like obviously 100% down from the all-time high, but I would say at the same time stable. Not too many updates as of late. Big exchanges already acquired. Around 1 billion FDV primed for a retail bull if that would occur, right? And now that is, in my opinion, the big question for this fourth quarter. Into the elections, you will see perhaps more opportunities. You might also see a more volatile market with what's going on in the Middle East at the moment, specifically the situation regarding Israel, right? Unstable world environments create opportunities, which could mean bullishness in the market, but also quick turnarounds into bearish patterns, which makes for a fun market dynamic. But of course, we can see based on retail liquidity that the retail is not here to support it, right? I think this is overall a good consensus. And until that happens, you will not see a 2021 bull run if we would see a similar style again. Now, let's pick up some big projects to see where they're at of launches that happened earlier this year. So you can see 65% down. That seems to be the good end of the spectrum, right? 65% down. Most of them are like 90% down. Nine Heroes is obviously one of them. Param Labs was a very big hyped one, 92% down. What do we have? Mon Protocol, where's that at these days? 65% down. And these are some of the biggest projects, right, in terms of biggest marketing campaigns. Mochaverse is obviously a different beast, I would say, the Mocha token, because it has a more like DAO structure, integrated operability, but still it is, from launch, it's basically at the launch price, or at least, it opened really high at 150 mil, right? And the vesting is ridiculously long. So this is maybe not the best example. However, I would say 800 mil FDV is obviously incredible results, right? Give credit where credit is due. Other than that, all these other big launches, they haven't just done really well. You have to imagine raising at such high valuations, current market conditions, 50, 60, 70 million. Yesterday I got a project that's asking basically a KOL round at a 90 million FDV. It's just not going to happen in this market, which means if you do a KOL round at 90 mil, you're going to go to market at 100 plus mil, right? The sell pressure will just destroy the project. Even if you would raise 10 mil, the market maker would need like 4, 5, 6 mil just to maintain the price, not even to grow it, right? So delusional tokenomics, inflated valuations, this is obviously not in the benefit of the market. Now, am I saying you should raise at lower valuations? No, not necessarily. You should raise at a valuation that you can raise money on, right? The project needs to look after the projects, and investors need to look after themselves, right? Projects are not money printers, right? At the end of the day, you need to be able to ensure for yourself which direction you would want to go. ApeCoin, also a good example. Look at that, terrible results, right? Just basically coming from $18 all-time high to just ApeChain is coming soon. You know, I've been involved in a variety of discussions in regards to ApeChain and projects on ApeChain. However, yeah, the utility for ApeCoin is just coming too late. You know, 700 mil FDV. There's a DAO, a complex structure, of course, all for the legal constraints, but at the same time, it's not to the benefit of what could have been. let's say, right? The whole inflated FDVs, race patterns, tokenomics, launches, it's probably a topic for a separate video. But what I'm looking to do, or like what I've already lined up, I just need to be consistent and do the recordings, is get people on with a unique expertise on each of these topics. Get a market maker on camera, let them explain. Get people from tier one investment companies, let them explain. Obviously it will be nuanced because it's being recorded, right? It's not raw as we might have hoped. Maybe if they are coming on non-doxed, they can with a voice changer, but that might be a little bit too messy. I would just like to hear their opinions. You know, everybody is in this market to make money. They're all businesses, right? Ooh, scale as well, you know, not good. If we look something like an OG Gala Games, right? The migration as well, but overall, I would say not good. If we look at something, what else we got? Sandbox, right? Like real OGs. They're all being kicked out of the top 100 due into, in my opinion, lack of innovation. Like it's all Decentraland, same. You can see a consistent patterns with these pre-2021 bull run projects, right? Then you got new ones like viral ones like Notcoin, Hamster Combat, Telegram Tapper Games, but you know, 50% down in the first week or so. This one is recent, but Binance listing. At the same time, Notcoin, that's from like a while ago, still number 83, so 777 mil FDV, stable, somewhat stable. I mean, 30% down for this market, we would call that stable, compared to projects that are like 90% down, 80% down. So these are components to consider that if you would ask my opinion, what are we up for in the fourth quarter, where now it's already early October, November 5th, we got 4 weeks to the elections. I hope to see a little bit of a pattern on Bitcoin, but I would be happy holding this market at a 66K, 66K, 67K, like the top end, stable, like how this week basically was, this week and a half. I think that's very good. You know, I don't think we need to resume into the 70s, 80s, what people are expecting. Do I think it would be great for me personally, for my businesses, for everything else? Yes, it would be amazing. Do I think it's realistic? No. Am I a person that can forecast markets? No, I have no clue what the fuck I'm talking about, right? I just, I know in regards to how to do the TGEs, how to position everything, and I don't even work with projects, I manage the teams, right? So basically I am a guy that trains CEOs on how to run teams, more on the performance side, on service delivery. But of course, I have all the insights because I need to check all the quality reports, how things are being done. So from KOLs to exchanges to market makers to big NFT campaigns. I'm working with a team on the Lamborghini campaign at the moment. Yeah, it is definitely a journey. You get a lot of insights, but one thing I do know very much so is that I'm in no position to forecast the market. One of the projects I quite like from back in the day, very small project called Degen Distillery. The guy, the owner, the CEO is just super funny. If you watch his Twitter, one of the best marketing videos I've seen, high quality, super in touch with the space. Yeah, it just wasn't a great launch, right? I mean, they opened really good at like 25 mil. I think their last round was at 12 mil, so just above the public round. I'm not too sure though, so don't hold me to it. I do know I offered some people back in the day a $5 million round, so they still did a 3x, but they had to wait like 10 months or 8 months for the listing. Yeah, it's just not amazing at the moment, but yeah, Degen Distillery, if you guys want to support a hardworking individual, definitely look at that project. It has great potential in terms of what they want to do with real world asset in this said alcoholic beverages. You know, they got a partnership with Google, partnership with Brewdog, definitely got some good things going on. And then of course, let me not forget, on the other side of the market, what do we got? We got the Dogecoin, we got the Shiba Inu, we got, what else we got? Duck with Hat, I mean, on a daily basis, on my Twitter feed, Popcat, I'm being thrown to death with meme coins. Brett, I think it was it was over 1 billion before. Being, yeah, the meme hype is still relevant. It's not something that interests me. It's something I played around with in like that period of, well, that was earlier this year, yeah, that period of maybe February to March, February, April. I didn't do Brett, so I didn't have any of these gains. But I did play around with the meme because it was funny, you know, made a little bit of money, not too significant. But I just know it requires so much attention. You need to be on the hype. There's so many scams, all that. It was just a little bit too crazy for me, too much of a time consumption component. And this is where you see that at the end of the day, I'm boring, right? I make entries into big projects looking for, you know, 1 to 3x maximum. And I'm willing to wait 1 to 2 years for that to occur. Very patient, which means that I have very little stress. I don't even know the prices, right? So for the last 6 months, I didn't even check the price. I mean, sporadically, I'll see it come by in my Twitter feed or when I'm sporadically in CoinMarketCap, but I don't refresh my portfolio once a day, maybe once an hour, like I did in the 2021 bull run, right? So what I'm going to focus on with this YouTube channel moving forward for you guys is I want to basically keep up to date with the market. I want to bring in some experts that I've met over the last 3 years. You know, this could be people from Animoca brands that I work with higher up. This could be other tier 1 VCs. This could be market makers. This could be KOLs, whether from like the token side or whether from the NFT side, to basically get people educated, involved on tokenomics, just general insights, nothing really to shield, but just like substance, quality content. And at times this might be boring, but I think there's quite a big need for these insights. In addition to that, will I also go back to basically reviewing crypto games. I like that. Going through the white papers, the old school stuff that I used to do. I kind of catered my content toward what people wanted to see instead of what I wanted to create. And that created a pattern where I didn't really want to create the content, right? It felt more like a job. I don't need to do it as a job. I have a great job, right? So let me create content that I like to create and basically build up a new audience of people that like that content as well. So if you made it thus far to the video, welcome back. I'm here. This video will go live within 7 days. There will be another video, so please leave a comment down below if you're excited. I sure am. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.